You feel it before you see it. The air thickens. The silence bends. And somewhere beyond what your eyes can reach, something begins to open. Not a physical door, but a spiritual one. It's as though heaven itself exhales and says, "No, you've waited for this moment without realizing it. Every delay, every closed opportunity, every prayer that seemed unanswered, none of it was wasted. It was the sound of locks turning in the invisible realm. And now, one click remains. The final hinge moves. There's a pull in your spirit, like standing at the edge of a vast ocean, feeling the tide rise against your feet. You know the water is cold. You know the waves can be wild. But you also know this: if you don't step forward now, you'll never learn how to walk on it. It's not coincidence that you're hearing these words at this exact moment. It's divine timing. You've come through a long night of silence, and heaven has just spoken your name. There's a door in front of you that no one else can see, but it's been built specifically for your destiny. The frame is carved with everything you've survived: the betrayals, the prayers, the tears. Every wound has been turned into wood, strong enough to hold the weight of glory that's about to rest on your shoulders. There was once a man named Eli. For years, he worked quietly behind others, watching them promoted while he remained unseen. He was kind, faithful, and tired. One night he dreamed of a gate made of light. A voice said, "I've been waiting for your courage." The next day, a job he'd been rejected from twice called him back unexpectedly. That gate wasn't symbolic, it was real. Though invisible to everyone but him, he stepped through it, and his life turned into testimony. Your story is no different. Heaven doesn't open doors for the popular, it opens them for the persistent. Scripture says in Revelation, chapter 3, verse 8, "See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. I know you have little strength, yet you have kept my word and not denied my name." This is the moment when God says, "I see your endurance, and I honor your obedience." The door before you isn't a test, it's a reward. But like every reward from heaven, it requires movement. You can't reason your way through this one. You have to walk by faith, not by sight. Imagine a hallway of mirrors stretching before you. Each reflection shows a version of your life that could have been. One shows what happens if you stay in fear. Everything remains the same, predictable but colorless. Another shows what happens if you trust light pours from your reflection, and generations change because you dared to walk forward. Every reflection waits for your choice. God has not forgotten the nights when you felt invisible. He saw you when you held your tongue instead of retaliating. Every tear became mortar for the foundation beneath this open door. You're not walking into luck, you're walking into prophecy. The enemy tried to convince you this door was closed, but he never had the keys. Every setback and heartbreak was him rattling an empty lock, while God kept building the path forward. You were never behind schedule. Heaven runs on divine timing, not human clocks. The Spirit is saying, don't look for a sign. The open door is the sign. When peace meets purpose, that's your cue to move. You might not feel ready, but faith doesn't wait for confidence. It builds it as you walk. There is strength reserved for motion, not hesitation. Once your foot lifts toward the unknown, grace rushes to meet it. When you step through, something will shift. Old fears will fall like dust from your feet. You'll sense that trembling and power, that holy tension proving it's real. Don't let overthinking cost you your miracle. Hot opens doors in seasons, and seasons close. You have 14 minutes in the spirit, a metaphor for urgency, not panits. When heaven opens a door, hell increases the noise. Silence the noise. Step anyway. And when you do, favor will find you in places you didn't even knock. Connections will appear. Opportunities will align. And peace will follow you like a shadow of light. This is not hype. This is holy timing. The door is open, and your name is written on it. If this message stirs your spirit, take a moment, not out of habit, but out of obedience, like this word, so that it reaches someone else standing at their own threshold. Share it. Subscribe if you want to walk with a community that listens to divine timing instead of fear. And finally, in the comments, write 999, a prophetic act declaring that you're stepping through your open door today. The door stands open. The countdown has already begun. Step through before hesitation becomes history. The clock of heaven has started to move, not the one ticking on your wall, but the one that measures destiny, moments of decision that shape eternity. The number may sound small, 14 minutes, but in divine language, it means a limited window where faith must outrun fear. Time feels different when heaven watches. You notice it in your breathing, in how silence suddenly feels charged. The air itself seems to carry weight, as if every second could tip the scale toward breakthrough or regret. God isn't threatening you with a deadline. He's revealing how sacred obedience becomes when time is compressed. You've stood at this kind of threshold before. Remember that time you felt an inner nudge to forgive, but delayed, and peace grew distant. Or the season when you sensed you were meant to move forward, but comfort whispered you weren't ready. Those weren't coincidences, they were missed doorways. This time, heaven is giving you another chance to move while the gate still stands open. The sound of the clock in the spirit isn't a countdown of fear, it's a rhythm of invitation. It says, you still have time, but not forever. Oh, there's something mysterious about how God measures time. To humans, it's seconds and hours. To heaven, it's readiness and response. A moment of faith can carry more weight than a decade of hesitation. In one heartbeat, destiny can shift because one person decided to act. Think of Abraham. He didn't wait for full clarity. He walked at God's first word. Think of Peter, stepping out of the boat while logic screamed no. Think of Mary, whose yes altered all of history. These weren't people with perfect understanding. They were people who refused to let the window close. The 14 minutes represent divine tension, the overlap between what was and what will be. If you could see what heaven sees, you'd realize how fragile human timing looks compared to God's. Yet, in His mercy, He allows us to partner with eternity through small acts of obedience in small slices of time. There was a young man named Caleb who always waited for the right moment. When God whispered opportunities, he called them coincidences. When doors cracked open, he said, maybe later. But one day he met someone who had seized their moment and lived transformed. He realized his whole life had been a series of almost ready, almost obedient, almost courageous. The revelation cut deep. Almost is the language of missed destinies. That night, Caleb prayed a dangerous prayer. God, Don't let me be waiting for perfect conditions." End quote. The next morning, everything changed. It wasn't dramatic, no lightning. No, angels, just peace. A deep peace that said, "Now." Sometimes peace itself is the sound of heaven's clock reaching zero. You may not hear an audible countdown, but your spirit does. You feel the restlessness, the holy urgency, the inner stirring that refuses to let you settle. That is heaven's alarm, ringing softly within your soul. The Word of God declares in Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1, "To everything there is a season, and a time for every purpose under heaven." That's what this moment is, a time appointed for your purpose to rise. Every season has an expiration date. Even waiting. There's a difference between waiting in faith and waiting out of fear. The first prepares you, the second paralyzes you. God is calling you out of spiritual paralysis. You are not being rushed, you are being released. The enemy wants you to believe that urgency means anxiety. It doesn't. True urgency is clarity wrapped in peace. It's knowing deep inside that something eternal is standing open for a short while. And your response matters. The Spirit whispers, "Don't look at the clock, listen to it." Because heaven isn't counting seconds, it's counting surrender. There's a subtle shift when you realize that the window won't always be there. Opportunities from God often close quietly. Doors don't slam, they fade. You wake up one day and realize the grace to move has lifted, replaced by nostalgia for what could have been. That's why the present moment is sacred. It carries eternal weight, disguised as an ordinary day. Look around you. The world rushes in noise, but heaven moves in stillness. If you listen carefully, you'll feel the pull of divine rhythm. Every beat says, "Move now," not out of panic, but alignment. Some people wait for signs, others become signs. You're called to be the latter. The door that opened wasn't random, it was response to years of unseen faithfulness. The 14 minutes aren't punishment, they're prophecy, a reminder that destiny doesn't wait forever for indecision. Step into rhythm with heaven's clock. The moment is moving, and so must you. You feel the seconds stretch and tighten, like the breath before lightning touches ground. Heaven leans closer, watching. Every hesitation trembles. Every heartbeat testifies. This is your sacred minute to move. You've felt it, the subtle pull between faith and hesitation. The door stands open, but something in you still lingers on the threshold. It's not rebellion, it's the echo of old fear. Every chosen one wrestles here, in the in-between, where the familiar feels safer than the unknown. You wonder, what if I step and fall? But the real question is, what if you stay and wither? Standing still too long in a season meant for movement turns faith into memory. The weight of delay is invisible at first. It sounds like logic, like caution, like maybe later. Yet behind that quiet voice hides the spirit of paralysis, the same whisper that told Moses he wasn't eloquent enough. Gideon, he was too weak. Jeremiah, he was too young. It's an ancient lie wearing modern clothes. The truth? God never asked for perfection. He asked for movement. Heaven can steer a moving ship, but not one anchored by fear. There was once a young woman named Leora who prayed for change every night. She kept asking God to open doors, unaware that one had already swung wide. When she finally stepped forward, trembling, She realized the delay wasn't heaven's silence, it was her own hesitation. From that day, she promised never to confuse waiting for God with God waiting for her. That is where you stand now. The door hasn't closed, it's waiting for your decision. Every chosen one must pass through this narrow place, where faith feels thinner than breath. Yet even here, heaven doesn't condemn, it calls. The Spirit whispers, I am not asking you to be ready, I am asking you to be willing. And you've already carried too much to stop here. Every scar on your soul is proof that endurance has been tested and proven. God is not surprised by your fear. He planned for it, placed grace exactly where your courage would falter. As written in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 22, be doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. Action is the language of faith. Hearing the call is holy, answering it is transformative. The ground beneath your hesitation is the same ground waiting to bloom once your foot touches it. Picture this moment. You stand before a field of glass. On the other side glows the world promised to you. The first step will crack the surface. It will sound loud, maybe frightening, but every shatter releases the path forward. What breaks beneath you isn't failure, it's the old limitations making way for grace. The angels assigned to your journey are not passive spectators. They stand ready, swords drawn, waiting for a single act of faith to release divine motion. The door doesn't fully open until your obedience touches it. There's power in simplicity. You don't need grand gestures, just one honest move in the direction of obedience. It could be a prayer, a message, a decision to forgive, a risk that honors God. Destiny often begins disguised as something small. You might still feel the tremor of fear in your bones. That's natural. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the refusal to let fear make the final decision. Don't underestimate what happens when your spirit says yes. Heaven doesn't measure your voice by volume, but by surrender. Even a whisper counts as thunder when spoken in faith. You've listened long enough. Now heaven waits to see. This moment is not about endless reflection, but holy reaction. The light through the door is shifting. It's time to move. And when you do, you'll realize that obedience doesn't just open paths, it opens identity. Every act of faith reshapes who you are. You're not the same person who stood frozen yesterday. The moment you act, you become the version of yourself that God originally designed. Now, let this word rest in your heart for a breath. Then, as a prophetic response, simple but powerful, type these 3 words in the comments. I move now. Yep, say it with intention, not performance. When you write it, you're doing more than commenting, you're making a covenant. Those 3 words mark the shift from waiting to walking, from hesitation to holy motion. They are your declaration before heaven that you are ready to cooperate with what God is unfolding. Every time someone types it, the words echo beyond the screen. It becomes a digital altar, a public sign that you've chosen obedience over delay. So when you write, I move now, let it carry the weight of your yes. Let it mean that you're done analyzing the door and ready to step through it. The door is open. The time is sacred. And heaven is already moving with you. And as you take that step, unseen hands steady your path. The ground no longer trembles. It welcomes you. Every heartbeat now sounds like prophecy fulfilled. Alive. Unstoppable. Divine. The silence after obedience feels strange at first. You've stepped through the door. And for a moment, everything is still. No applause, no thunder, no southern vision. Just quiet. But don't mistake the quiet for absence. It's the sound of heaven rearranging things on your behalf. When God opens a door, He doesn't always fill it with noise, He fills it with alignment. What you can't see yet is the shift happening behind the veil. Relationships moving, resources redirected, hearts softened, paths realigned. Obedience is never wasted. It is the seed planted in unseen soil, and the silence is the earth covering it until the time to bloom arrives. There's something sacred about this pause. Every chosen soul experiences it, the calm after a divine yes. It's like the moment between lightning and thunder, the breath before manifestation catches up to obedience. Heaven is never late, it's deliberate. You might feel as though nothing is changing. You've taken the step, but life still looks familiar. Yet the atmosphere has already shifted. You're standing in a new spiritual climate. The air of delay has lifted. The scent of promise lingers, even if your eyes can't yet see its shape. God doesn't rush transformation. He layers it. Like sunrise spreading across a sleeping horizon, each ray touches what was once hidden. Slowly, the light expands, and you realize nothing around you has changed, yet everything within you has. That's how the proof of obedience works. It begins inside, before it manifests outside. There was a season in the life of Daniel when obedience led to silence too. He prayed, fasted, and waited for 21 days. No sign appeared, but on the 21st, an angel arrived and said, "From the first day you set your heart to understand and humble yourself. Your words were heard." The delay wasn't denial, it was warfare. The silence wasn't rejection, it was resistance being broken. Your current stillness might hold the same truth. Heaven heard you the first day you obeyed. The delay you sense now is simply the unseen world catching up with your step of faith. According to the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, though it delays. Wait for it. It will surely come. It will not tarry." There is divine rhythm in that verse. God's promises are never early, never late. They arrive precisely when your capacity to carry them has matured. This waiting space isn't punishment, it's calibration. Heaven uses the pause to shape you for the weight of what's next. Picture a bow being drawn. The arrow doesn't fight the pull, it yields to it. The tension feels backward, but it's the only way to gain momentum. That's where you are pulled back only so that you can be propelled forward with precision. Sometimes the greatest proof that you've entered a new level is the silence itself. Old distractions lose interest. Familiar patterns dissolve. And even your emotions seem quieter. That's not emptiness, it's preparation. God clears the noise so you can learn His new language. He's teaching you to trust without evidence, to breathe peace even when you can't see progress. This is maturity faith that no longer demands constant reassurance. There was a woman named Tessa who once said, "The hardest part of my obedience wasn't saying yes, it was staying yes when nothing happened." Her words became wisdom for many, because that's the secret, staying yes. The door opened, but walking through is ongoing. Each step demands the same faith as the first. If your surroundings feel unchanged, remember this: roots grow in silence. The tree doesn't announce its depth until the storm reveals it. God is deepening you beneath the surface, while the world above you still looks calm. Heaven is never in a hurry, because heaven never loses track of time. The delay you perceive is often God protecting you from what isn't ready yet. Sometimes the door opens to a hallway, not the destination. Each step reveals another layer of purpose. This is the hidden grace of divine timing. It spares you from premature arrival. Imagine reaching the promised place too early, without the strength to remain there. Mercy delays what impatience would destroy. So breathe. Don't mistake stillness for stagnation. The invisible world is moving, and every quiet second is sacred. The silence that follows obedience is not emptiness, it's incubation. You're in the sacred middle, the space between command and completion. Trust it. Heaven has not forgotten you. It is finishing what your faith started. The stillness hums with unseen motion. Angels walk quietly through your timeline, placing every detail where it belongs. What feels paused is actually progress, disguised as patience. Soon, movement will return gentle at first, then unstoppable. You'll realize the silence was not distance but design, shaping strength you never knew you carried. You begin to notice it, the quiet strength that comes after surrender. The world looks the same, yet your spirit no longer trembles. You've crossed the line between hoping and believing, between watching and walking. The door behind you glows faintly now, not as a reminder of what you left, but as proof that courage can rewrite destiny. Something new begins to stir. It's subtle at first, like wind brushing through long-forgotten leaves. You feel it under your skin, a fresh rhythm, a renewed pulse. Heaven's timing is finally breathing in sync with yours. This is not coincidence. It's alignment. The moment you said yes, unseen forces began to move. Favor quietly rearranged itself around your name. The right people, the right moments, the right resources. They're not coming by chance, but by orchestration. Obedience sets divine algorithms in motion, far beyond human reach. The test was never about speed. It was about trust. God needed to see if you would still walk when the music stopped, is still believe when applause faded. And you did. You stayed faithful when no one was watching. That's why the air feels different now. Heaven recognizes endurance. There's a beauty in this kind of still courage. It doesn't shout. It stands. It learns to smile without proof and to speak life into quiet soil. You've become like a lighthouse standing against storm waves, rooted, shining, guiding others who are still searching for their shore. We read in the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 25, "A generous soul will prosper, and he who refreshes others will himself be refreshed." That's what your obedience does. It refreshes others. Your faith becomes the evidence someone else needs. You've become living proof that God still opens doors for those who wait and walk with Him. The story of another chosen one comes to mind. His name was Aaron. He had dreams larger than his circumstances, but fear always whispered that he was too late. One night, he watched the sunrise after weeks of doubt and realized the truth. The sun doesn't rush to rise, it rises faithfully. He decided to do the same, move faithfully, not frantically. Months later, the very opportunity he thought he lost returned, multiplied. That's the mystery of divine timing. It waits for the faithful, not the perfect. You are now in that same grace. The season of preparation is giving birth to the season of release. But before the manifestation comes, gratitude must take root. Gratitude is heaven's language. It keeps the door open for what's next. Look at how far you've come. The tears, the questions, the lonely nights, they weren't wasted ink. They were lines in your divine story. And now, heaven turns the page. The new chapter doesn't start with noise. It begins with quiet joy. Imagine this. You're standing on a hill at dawn. Below you, the valley you once feared looks small now. Gentle even. The sun touches your face, and you realize the pain that once defined you has become the soil of your wisdom. That's redemption, not the erasing of the past, but the transforming of it. This moment deserves acknowledgement, not as celebration of arrival, but as gratitude for endurance. You've walked through waiting, through warfare, through wordless seasons. You're here because you didn't quit when silence grew heavy. Heaven honors that. And now, as the light widens across your horizon, I invite you to pause, not for ritual, but reflection. If something in these words has stirred your spirit, take it as a quiet sign that you are part of this unfolding story. Maybe you'll feel led to press the heart to like this message, not because someone asked you to, but because it feels like agreement, a small act of saying, yes, I see what heaven is doing. Perhaps you'll choose to share it, not to promote a voice, but to pass along a spark to let another soul know that the silence after obedience is not the end, it's the beginning of bloom. And if your spirit finds peace here, stay near. Subscribe, not as routine, but as choice to remain connected to this flow of words that remind you who you are when the world forgets. No one is keeping score. These gestures are not demands, they are mirrors of the heart ways to say, I am awake, I am willing, I am still here. So as this section fades, remember, doors stay open for those who live in gratitude. The smallest act of acknowledgement can echo through eternity. The light you carry now isn't borrowed, it's yours. Keep walking. Quiet one. Heaven has already turned its gaze toward your next step. And as you walk forward, light gathers behind you like a trail of gold. Each step becomes a spark for someone still wandering in the dark. You are proof that obedience turns ordinary paths into eternal fire. You've walked through the open door. You felt the silence after obedience, the calm that disguises divine construction. Now the atmosphere shifts again. You sense movement in the unseen, like wind pressing through the edges of your new season. What was still is now alive. Heaven has begun unveiling what was hidden while you waited. Doors don't just open once, they keep unfolding, layer after layer, revealing what your faith has purchased. You are stepping into territory designed for the mature, the grounded, the ones who refuse to give up. But with every new season comes fresh responsibility. You are not here merely to enjoy the view. You are here to build. God didn't bring you through delay and silence just to make you comfortable. He brought you to become a living testimony of endurance turned into impact. Every chosen one eventually learns that favor is both invitation and weight. You've been entrusted with more than blessings. You've been entrusted with example. The way you carry yourself in this season will teach others how to recognize their own doors. It is here that gratitude transforms into purpose. You begin to see that the closed doors behind you were never punishment. They were protection. Every no was a divine redirect, keeping you aligned with your calling. The moments you thought were losses were really walls shielding you from things not built for your capacity. Think of a sculptor shaping marble. Every strike of the chisel seems destructive. Yet each strike reveals form. The waiting, the silence, the struggle they were. Heaven's tools carving out the shape of your destiny. Now, you're beginning to see the design emerge. The prophet Hosea wrote in chapter 6, verse 3, "Let us press on to know the Lord. As surely as the dawn, he will appear. He will come to us like the winter rains, like the spring rains that water the earth." This is where you stand between rain and revelation. The drought of your waiting has ended. Heaven is sending the rain of renewal. And everything that seemed dead in your hands will begin to bloom again. You will notice new opportunities, rising conversations, connections, insights that feel strangely familiar, yet entirely new. Don't dismiss them. They are signs that your obedience has rippled into new dimensions. Each moment is a seed of something larger. You might feel overwhelmed, as if the blessing arrived too quickly. But you are not underqualified. You are chosen. The same God who opened the door will sustain you inside it. Every step of progress is an act of partnership with heaven. There's a story of a woman named Sarah who once prayed not for miracles, but for clarity. When her door opened, she feared she would ruin it by unpreparedness. But one morning she realized the truth. God never calls the prepared. He prepares the called. She walked forward, trembling, and found that every weakness she feared became a channel for grace. Her story spread, not because she was strong, but because she was surrendered. That is what heaven desires from you. Now surrender that breathes stability, not striving, not proving, just walking with quiet authority. The atmosphere has changed, and so must your posture. You no longer beg, you build. You no longer chase, you choose. Still, there is one thing heaven asks of you. Remain awake. Don't let comfort lull you back into complacency. The same faith that carried you through the silence must now carry you through abundance. Blessing without vigilance can turn doors into cages. So when you see favor unfolding, remember, it's not luck, it's legacy. Every miracle you touch carries the fingerprints of those silent prayers you once whispered. You are the harvest of your own endurance. So, when you see favor unfolding, remember it's not luck, it's legacy. Every miracle you touch carries the fingerprints of those silent prayers you once whispered. You are the harvest of your own endurance. This moment calls for acknowledgement, a small act of faith that seals what heaven is doing. In the comments, type 7,777. This number isn't superstition, it's symbolism. 4 sevens, the mark of divine completion, multiplied. It represents the full cycle of breakthrough, the end of striving, the perfection of peace, the opening of a season where everything aligns with heaven's order. When you write 7,777, you are not summoning favor, you are confirming that it has already found you. Let those digits be your silent Amen, your gentle agreement with the timing of God. Write them as an altar of gratitude, a signal to heaven that you understand the assignment to walk, to build, to remain faithful while blessings unfold. The rain has come, the light has shifted, the promise has begun to unfold. Walk gently but boldly, for the ground beneath you is holy. It was watered by your tears, and now it carries the fragrance of new life. The air feels different now. You've entered a space where time slows down, not because you've stopped moving, but because you're finally in rhythm with what God is doing. Every step feels guided. Every breath carries quiet authority. The trembling that once filled your spirit has turned into stillness, and that stillness hums with purpose. You begin to realize that this season isn't about proving who you are, it's about remembering who sent you. Every chosen soul must pass through this stage, the stage of revelation after restoration. You are not simply blessed, you are trusted. Heaven does not pour oil on empty vessels. It anoints those who have learned to stay when others ran. The silence that once scared you has become your sanctuary. You used to crave confirmation, now you crave communion. You've learned to find God not just in thunder, but in whispers. That shift is what sets apart the called from the chosen. There's a hidden strength that forms when you walk through hardship without bitterness. You've been stretched, tested, refined, and what's left is purity, not of perfection, but of intention. God isn't looking for flawless people. He's looking for faithful ones. Think of gold in fire. It doesn't complain while it melts. It understands that only the flame can reveal its true worth. You were that gold. Every trial that once felt like punishment was actually purification. The fire that surrounded you didn't destroy, it defined. We find in the book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 9, I will refine them like silver and test them like gold. They will call on my name, and I will answer them. I will say, they are my people. And they will say, the Lord is our God. That is your story written long before you lived it. You were always destined to pass through fire so that your light could be trusted. Heaven never wastes a wound. It turns pain into power and testing into testimony. Now, as you walk forward, you start noticing how effortlessly grace follows you. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. You don't chase anymore, you attract what matches your calling. People who once doubted you now seek your counsel. Doors that once slammed now wait for your knock. You're not fighting for validation, you're carrying revelation. But even in this season of favor, humility must remain your crown. The higher God lifts you, the lower your heart must bow. Because promotion without humility turns glory into burden. You're not ascending to escape others, you're rising to illuminate them. There's a story told of an old craftsman who built lanterns for the temple. He carved them from rough metal and polished them for days until the surface gleamed like glass. When asked why he worked so slowly, he smiled and said, light deserves something worthy to rest in. That's what God has done with you. He's been crafting your vessel so His light could rest in it without distortion. You're beginning to carry peace differently now, not as emotion, but as authority. When you enter a place, heaviness lifts, even if no one understands why. That's what it means to walk in quiet anointing. You don't announce your calling, your presence reveals it. This kind of peace doesn't mean life is free from challenges. It means storms no longer define your reaction. You've learned that the same voice that opened the door can calm the sea. The same God who let you wait in silence now walks beside you in strength. Take a moment to remember who you were before this journey began. The version of you that doubted, feared, and questioned. Then look at who you are now. Growth rarely announces itself, but if you look closely, you'll see it in how gently you respond, how quickly you forgive, how boldly you love. That's transformation. There's a fragrance to endurance, a beauty that cannot be imitated. It's the scent of those who've walked through shadow and emerged carrying light. That's what others will sense when they meet you. Not perfection, but presence. In this new stage, the key is stillness with direction. You are no longer reacting, you're responding. No longer waiting for permission. You're walking in assignment. Every moment of patience has prepared you for this authority, an authority that doesn't shout but carries weight simply by existing. When heaven calls you refined, it means you've learned to bend without breaking, to yield without losing your shape. That's power. So keep walking. Flame-forged one. The fire that once surrounded you now burns within you. You've become both lamp and light, proof that what passes through the furnace can shine without fear. And as you move, the world begins to notice not your noise, but your glow. You carry Kiet fire now, the kind that doesn't consume but warms, guiding others toward their own becoming. There's a sacred heaviness that settles on those who have been refined. It's not weariness, it's weight. The weight of purpose, of understanding, of seeing life through the lens of eternity. You begin to notice that even your smallest choices ripple differently now. Every word you speak, every silence you keep, every step you take, each carries the fragrance of someone who has met God in the fire and come out marked by it. You no longer live by reaction. The storms still come, but they don't pull you apart anymore. You've learned that peace is not the absence of chaos, it's the authority to remain whole in the middle of it. The world may shake, but your spirit no longer mirrors its tremors. You are anchored, unshaken, deliberate. That's what divine maturity looks like. Not the loudness of confidence, but the steadiness of conviction. You're no longer chasing signs because you've become one. Your life itself is a message, a living scroll that reads, God is faithful. Every chosen one reaches this season. When God begins to replace urgency with understanding, you realize that not every open door must be entered, and not every battle deserves your sword. Wisdom whispers what emotion once shouted. This is not passivity, it's discernment. You're learning that power lies as much in restraint as it does in motion. Think of a river. It doesn't rush because it's uncertain of direction. It flows because it knows exactly where it's meant to go. That's what you've become, a river, aligned with its source, moving with quiet strength toward its purpose. As declared in the book of Psalms, chapter 46, verse 10, Be still, and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. Stillness, true. Stillness is not inactivity, it's awareness. It's the art of hearing before acting, of sensing before speaking. It's the holy discipline that keeps your spirit in tune with heaven's rhythm. You start to see the difference between motion and progress. The world worships motion, always rushing, always chasing. But heaven celebrates progress, measured steps, guided by divine instruction. When you move under God's timing, even the smallest action carries exponential power. There was once an old gardener named Emmett who tended the same patch of soil for 40 years. To many, it looked like monotony, but to him, it was ministry. When asked why he never sought bigger fields, he smiled and said, Because this is the ground God trusted me with. And year after year, his garden flourished, untouched by drought. That's what stillness does. It roots you deep enough to outlast the storms. You've entered that phase where impact replaces ambition. You no longer need to be seen to feel significant. You understand that unseen faithfulness builds eternal things. The applause of people fades, but the approval of heaven echoes forever. This weight of understanding makes you walk slower, speak softer, and listen longer. You start to notice divine patterns in ordinary places, a phrase overheard, a sudden peace during chaos, a sunrise that feels like reassurance. Heaven has hidden messages in everything, and the refined heart can finally read them. This is also the season when relationships shift. Some people will drift away, not because of offense, but because light changes direction. It's natural. Oil and water can't mix once the refining is complete. You will find that certain conversations no longer feed you. Certain atmospheres no longer fit you, and that's okay. God is making room for voices that align with your next assignment. You're learning to hold everything loosely. Possessions, plans, even promises, they all belong to Him. What remains constant is the presence. That's your true inheritance, not things, but communion. You've discovered the quiet joy of partnership with heaven. You no longer beg for favor, you carry it. You no longer fear the unknown, you trust the one who knows. And through this trust, clarity begins to bloom. You can discern God's hand even in detours. When something closes, you no longer ask, why? But what are you teaching me here? That shift alone changes everything. You have become the kind of person who doesn't just survive seasons, you interpret them. You've learned heaven's language, the pauses, the repetitions, the divine delays that carry purpose beneath their stillness. In this place of maturity, miracles no longer surprise you. They feel natural, because you've aligned with the source of all that moves. Faith is no longer effort, it's atmosphere. So you walk on, not chasing, not rushing, but resting in the flow of divine rhythm. Your pace is slower now, but your impact is deeper. The world calls it patience, heaven calls it wisdom. Stay here a while, in this holy balance. This is where your roots drink peace and your branches bear grace. The fire has refined you, the silence has steadied you, and now wisdom crowns you. You are living proof that surrender was never loss, it was transformation. You've entered a realm of peace that once felt unreachable. The storms that used to terrify you now sound like distant echoes. You've seen what obedience can build, what surrender can protect, and what silence can teach. Yet, this is not the end. It's the unveiling of your next dimension. Every season has a calling sound, and this one whispers rather than roars. It doesn't demand frantic action, it invites deeper awareness. You're no longer being tested, you're being trusted. The Father looks upon your steadiness and says, "Now, I can send you further." Purpose grows differently after refinement. It no longer blooms through ambition, but through assignment. You've stopped chasing your name in lights and started seeking His light in your steps. That's maturity, when the focus shifts from being known to being useful. But there's a new challenge hidden in this piece. Comfort can be just as dangerous as chaos if it dulls your hunger for growth. This is where many chosen ones settle, mistaking peace for completion. Don't. Peace is not the destination, it's the posture from which you continue. According to the book of Philippians, chapter 3, verse 13, forgetting what is behind and straining toward what is ahead, I press on toward the goal, to win the prize God has called me to in Christ. You've come far, but heaven is calling you to press further, not in striving, but in surrender. The deeper the peace, the clearer the direction. Every new revelation from God is an invitation to trust again, to step again, to become more than you were yesterday. Imagine yourself standing on a mountain ridge. Behind you lies everything you've overcome: betrayal, confusion, waiting, breakthrough. Ahead of you stretches a horizon washed in light. You can feel the pull of destiny again, the same current that once drew you to the open door. But now you walk with understanding. You know the value of time, the weight of words, the cost of obedience. There was a man named Jonah, not the prophet, but a modern Jonah who spent years carrying resentment for missed seasons. He believed he had lost his purpose. But one evening, while reading about the potter and the clay, he felt God whisper, "I can still shape what's surrendered." That night, he realized that purpose never expires. It only waits for permission. The next day, he began again. Smaller steps, but purer ones. Within months, what seemed lost was restored. You are standing in that same mercy now. The potter's hands haven't left you. They've simply moved to a new section of the clay. Every journey has rest, stops moments to breathe before the next ascent. That's where you are, a pause that prepares, not a pause that ends. Heaven is giving you new insight, new language, and new reach. You're being equipped to speak to others still standing before their doors. The light of revelation always travels in both directions. It illuminates you, and it draws others toward you. That's why your peace carries influence. When people encounter you, they'll sense calm in your words, clarity in your gaze. You are no longer striving to convince. You are simply becoming the evidence. Still, in this sacred balance, God whispers again, not in warning, but in awakening. Don't let stillness turn into slumber. Every fresh revelation must lead to renewed movement. Even if that movement is internal, growth never ends for the ones chosen to carry light. The Spirit's invitation in this moment is simple: respond with recognition. Let heaven know you hear the call to rise again. So right here, pause for a moment and comment, "I rise again." Oh, let it be more than words. Let it be agreement. When you type it, imagine setting a stone of remembrance at this stage of your journey. It's a small act with eternal echo. Your way of saying, "I will not settle in comfort. I will ascend in calling." Because the mountain before you is not a wall, it's a doorway in disguise. You are being summoned higher, not by effort, but by invitation. And as you climb, you'll discover that peace and purpose were never separate. They were always the same road leading home. When you write, "I rise again," you're not just leaving a comment, you're marking resurrection. Those 3 words declare that your spirit refuses to remain in yesterday's ashes. It's your personal sunrise, quietly defying every shadow that tried to linger. "I rise again" is not a boast, it's a vow. It says, "I may have fallen, but I've learned to fall forward." It means you recognize that grace is not a restart, it's a rebirth. And as heaven reads those words, alignment begins. The same power that lifted Jesus from the grave breathes through your declaration. Mountains move in silence. Destinies realign. And your heart beats with divine rhythm once more. You've climbed higher, and the air is thinner now. Every breath feels sacred. Every heartbeat echoes with meaning. This is the altitude of revelation, where clarity meets calling, and destiny becomes less of an idea and more of a living rhythm inside your chest. Here, everything you've walked through begins to make sense. The pain that once confused you now appears as preparation. The silence that once felt cruel now feels tender. It was God teaching you the sound of His stillness. You realized that even unanswered prayers were never ignored. They were being rewritten into better language. At this level, vision sharpens. You start to see how your story weaves into something far larger than you imagined. Your endurance becomes someone else's map. The things that nearly broke you now build others. You were never suffering in isolation. You were being equipped for impact. There's a soft authority in you now. You no longer need to announce your purpose. Your peace introduces you. The calm around you isn't emptiness. It's the hum of alignment. Heaven has tuned your life to its frequency, and the result is resonance. We find in the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden." That's what this moment is about. Illumination. You've carried light through valleys. Now it's time to let it shine from the hill. Not for attention, but for direction. The world doesn't need noise, it needs evidence. And you, chosen one, have become living evidence of grace that sustains. But light can be both blessing and burden. To shine means to be seen, and to be seen means to be tested differently. There will be eyes that misunderstand, voices that question, shadows that envy, but none of them can dim what God Himself has lit. The lamp doesn't apologize for shining, it simply burns because it was built to. There was once an artist who painted only by candlelight. People mocked her for working in the dark. Years later, when her paintings were displayed under bright museum lights, the colors glowed richer than anyone expected. She had mastered light by respecting shadow. That's what you've done. You've learned brilliance through brokenness. Now, your story is no longer just your own. It's a lamp for others. Someone somewhere is watching your endurance and finding courage to try again. You've become a mirror of mercy, reflecting what heaven looks like when it touches human skin. And as this realization sinks in, you begin to understand the quiet responsibility of visibility. To be light means to invite others out of darkness without burning them with judgment. It means to stand, not to show off, but to show the way. If these words find you here, at this point in your ascent, pause for a moment. Let gratitude fill the space around you. Feel the warmth of the path beneath your feet, the same path you once feared would end in silence. You're still walking, and the view keeps widening. Maybe, just maybe, this is a moment to honor that journey, to lift your eyes and whisper, thank you. Not only to heaven, but to every moment that tried to stop you and failed. And if something in your heart stirs a quiet recognition, a sense of being seen, then let that feeling flow naturally. Perhaps you'll choose to like this message, not because someone asked you, but because it feels like holding a torch higher, saying, yes, this light still matters. You may feel led to share it, not for attention, but for awakening to pass the flame onward, to reach someone standing where you once stood. Unsure if dawn would ever come, let your sharing be a way of saying, if light reached me, it can reach you too. And if this voice feels like home, if these words remind you of who you've always been beneath the noise, then subscribe, not out of habit, but as an act of belonging, to stay connected to a community of lights learning to burn without fading. No pressure, no persuasion, just an open hand extended across the distance, saying, "Walk with us in the same glow, because here's the truth. When lights gather, darkness loses ground faster. One flame becomes a signal, 1,000 become a sunrise. So, as you stand on this hill of clarity, let your heart rest in gratitude. You've come from fire, through silence, into glow. You are no longer just walking toward promise, you've become part of it. Keep burning, quietly but boldly. The world needs your warmth more than your noise. And as your light spreads, heaven smiles. The horizon blushes with new color. And every step you take ignites another heart. You were never just surviving, you were becoming sunrise for those still in night. There is a strange peace that follows revelation. It's not loud or overwhelming, it's steady, like the hum of a well-tuned string. You begin to move through your days differently, more aware, more deliberate, less eager to rush what God is still forming. You've reached the point where peace itself has become your compass. You no longer measure success by outcomes, but by obedience. The world around you moves in frantic patterns, yet you've learned to listen for heaven's rhythm. Every step, every decision, every word spoken from your mouth begins to sound like a note in a greater song. The true mark of maturity is no longer how much you do, but how deeply you listen. You've discovered that God's instructions often arrive disguised as interruptions. A delay becomes a doorway. A closed opportunity becomes protection. A disappointment becomes direction. What once frustrated you now forms you. It's in this awareness that purpose becomes lighter to carry. You stop trying to fix everything. You stop trying to be everything. Instead, you simply are. You've realized that you were never called to perform for God. You were called to walk with Him. There's a quiet story unfolding inside you now. It's not the kind people notice instantly, but those with spiritual eyes can sense it. You've become a sanctuary in motion. Wherever you go, peace follows. People find safety in your presence, not because of your words, but because you've learned the art of stillness. You've walked through seasons of pruning. The branches that bore no fruit were cut, and though it hurt, the gardener never wasted a wound. Now, new fruit begins to appear: patience, gentleness, discernment. You're no longer desperate for growth, you're grateful for health. The writings of John remind us. In chapter 15, verse 5, "I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing." That verse no longer feels like command, it feels like comfort. You understand now that connection is the secret to strength. Remaining in God isn't limitation, it's liberation. The branch doesn't strive, it simply stays. And in staying, it flourishes. You've learned to trust the flow of divine pruning. What leaves your life does so by design. Not everyone can walk with you into this altitude. The pruning is not rejection, it's refinement. God narrows your circle so He can sharpen your focus. This awareness changes how you view everything. You no longer see endings as loss, they're redirections. You no longer fight for what doesn't fit. You release it with peace. When God shifts your environment, He's not punishing you. He's protecting what He's building within you. There was once a woman named Nile who tended a small vineyard near the edge of a desert. Each year, Sandstorms would bury her vines, and she'd dig them out again. One day, she realized the wind wasn't her enemy, it was her ally. The sand stripped the weaker branches and left only those strong enough to bear fruit. The following season, her harvest doubled. That's the mystery of divine pressure. It removes the fragile so the faithful can flourish. You've experienced that same wind. It's why you stand stronger now. Every storm that once sought to bury you only uncovered more of your roots. You've learned to thank the wind because it taught you how to stay. This season is quieter, yes, but also deeper. God is teaching you the strength of subtleness. Not every victory is meant to be shouted. Some are meant to be savored in silence, because heaven hears them perfectly. The beauty of this stage is that you're finally free from comparison. You no longer look left or right. You look upward and inward. You measure progress by peace, not applause. You've become content in the hidden, powerful in the still, and purposeful in the ordinary. You now understand that your life isn't just about destination, it's about demonstration. You are the living example of what happens when someone keeps showing up, keeps saying yes, keeps trusting even when nothing makes sense. Rest in this awareness. You are rooted now, not restless. The same God who led you through storms now teaches you how to grow in sunlight. You don't need signs anymore. You've become one. Remain steady in this quiet flourishing. The branch doesn't compete with other branches. It simply receives, endures, and bears fruit in its time. So do you. You stand beneath heaven's quiet canopy, breathing in peace that once felt unreachable. Growth hums softly within you, unforced, unseen, unstoppable. This is what divine maturity feels like, stillness filled with silent strength. And as you rest, the vine holds you steady. What once broke you now feeds you. What once frightened you now flowers. You no longer chase growth. It comes to you gently, faithfully, like sunlight finding its way through leaves already, ready to bloom. There's a hush over your spirit now, a peace that carries weight, a silence that speaks. You've walked through fire, through silence, through doors that opened and others that closed. You've seen the beauty of surrender and the wisdom of waiting. And now, God leans close again, not with thunder this time, but with whisper. You feel it, a subtle stirring that tells you another shift is coming. It's not chaos, it's calling. The atmosphere changes, not to unsettle you, but to remind you, your story isn't ending here. This is not the conclusion, it's the commissioning. You are stepping into a realm where revelation turns into responsibility. You've seen the glory, now you carry it. You've tasted peace, now you release it. Heaven doesn't just fill you, it flows through you. Every step from this point forward becomes invitation and impact. You've learned that obedience is never a single act, it's a lifestyle. It breathes, it expands, it evolves. You're not just surviving faith anymore, you're sculpting it into expression. And in this place of maturity, God begins to multiply your influence. He is calling you into influence, not by platform, but by presence. Your very atmosphere is starting to change environments. When you walk into a room, tension softens. When you speak, burdens lighten. This is what it means to carry His peace. You are becoming a walking temple, a mobile sanctuary where heaven feels at home. It is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 60. Verse 1. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. That verse is not a promise, it's a command. Heaven is saying, rise again. But this time, not for survival, for service. Your light is not ornamental, it's functional. It's meant to find others lost in shadow. The world is darker now than it used to be. Hearts are heavier. Faith is thinner. Hope is often whispered rather than declared. But God has positioned you as a flame that doesn't flicker under pressure. You've become a living contrast, grace in the midst of noise, steadiness in the midst of uncertainty. This new stage of your journey is less about achieving and more about aligning. God no longer measures your steps by speed, but by surrender. You're being called to move in sync with His rhythm, to respond to His timing, rather than react to your emotions. There was a man named Elias, once paralyzed by indecision. Every opportunity that came, he delayed until it vanished. One day he prayed, God, give me another chance. But heaven whispered back, you don't need another chance. You need a response. That night, he finally acted on a long-ignored vision and found that destiny had been waiting for his courage all along. That's what this moment is for you, a call to respond, not delay. The window is open again. Though it looks different this time, it's not a door of escape, but of expansion. You're being stretched beyond comfort because you were never meant to stay small. The Spirit is inviting you to mark this moment, to acknowledge that you hear the call. This isn't about emotion, it's about alignment. So, as a symbolic act, as a whisper of agreement with heaven's timing, type 999 inches, the comments. This number isn't coincidence, it's covenant. 999 represents completion and divine transition, the final curve before the circle becomes full. It's heaven's way of saying, what was meant to end has ended, and what begins now carries. My signature, when you write 999, you're declaring that the season of striving is finished and the season of fulfillment has started. It's the number of closure turned into continuation, the mark of someone who has learned the art of release. By typing it, you are saying, I release the weight of the old. I embrace the light of the new. Each 9 folds into the next, like waves returning to shore, symbolizing that nothing in your past was wasted. Every tear, every delay, every silence is being folded into the pattern of purpose. Let 999 be your final amen to the wilderness, and your quiet yes to destiny. It means, I am ready for the chapter heaven has already written. The shift has begun. The light isn't ahead anymore, it's within you. Heaven moves when your heart agrees. The whisper becomes wind, pushing you gently toward what was always yours. Every step forward now feels lighter, as if grace itself has taken your hand. You are walking in rhythm with eternity. The old pages have turned quietly, and your name shines in a new chapter. What once drained you now drives you. What once broke you now builds you. Light gathers around your path, recognizing its own reflection. You are no longer chasing purpose, you are carrying it. Every breath declares fulfillment. Every heartbeat echoes alignment. The story continues, radiant and unstoppable. There is a stillness that follows revelation, a silence, not of emptiness, but of fullness. It's the quiet of arrival, when everything inside you recognizes that you are standing in the very place you once prayed to reach. Yet even here, peace doesn't mean pause. It means permission. Permission to move in wisdom, to build without fear, to live without striving. You begin to see that destiny isn't a destination, but a dialogue. It's not God handing you a script, it's Him writing with you in real time. Every day becomes another sentence of partnership, another expression of His nature through your obedience. What you once called coincidence now feels like choreography. Your vision grows broader, yet your pace slows. You no longer chase opportunities, you discern them. You can tell the difference between what's urgent and what's eternal. That is wisdom, the ability to see through the noise and recognize the rhythm of heaven beneath it. Every mature soul eventually reaches this realization. Not everything good is God, and not every open door is meant for you. Discernment becomes your greatest weapon. Humility, your finest armor. You've learned that saying no can be as holy as saying yes. We read in the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 7, "Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all your getting, get understanding." Wisdom is what keeps fire from turning into wildfire. It teaches you that timing matters as much as truth. God's promises are perfect, but His timing is protective. What comes too early can become a burden. What comes in season becomes blessing. You've learned this through both success and silence. You know what it feels like to receive something you weren't ready to hold, and how mercy sometimes hides what maturity must grow into. Now, you no longer ask, when, as often as, how should I carry it when it comes? That is the voice of someone who has grown. There's a clarity that comes with surrender. The more you release control, the sharper your spiritual sight becomes. You can now sense subtle shifts, when grace is lifting from an assignment, when peace begins guiding you toward a new one. This awareness doesn't create anxiety, it creates alignment. Think of a sailor navigating by stars. The sea may toss and roar, but he trusts the fixed lights above him. You've become that sailor steady, not because the waves have calmed, but because you've learned where to look. And now, God begins to expand your reach. Influence flows not from effort, but from presence. People will find peace simply standing near you. You'll say less and accomplish more, because your words will carry the weight of heaven's wind behind them. But remember, the higher the light shines, the more the shadows stretch. You must guard your heart even more carefully now, not against others, but against pride, the quiet thief that turns purpose into performance. True greatness remains hidden, even while seen. There was a teacher named Rima who served her community for 30 years. Every day she planted seeds of hope in her students, though she rarely saw the fruit. When asked if she ever grew tired, she smiled and said, "I stopped needing to see results. I just needed to keep sowing." Her words echo in every chosen heart. Faithfulness is never wasted, even when unseen. That's the essence of this season for you. God is not asking you to perform miracles. He's asking you to carry His consistency. Heaven measures trust by endurance. You've proven that your heart can hold both the fire of calling and the weight of patience. Now, your journey becomes less about arrival and more about overflow. You are no longer trying to find where you fit. You are shaping the space around you. Every word, every act of kindness, every moment of forgiveness becomes ministry. You've learned that evangelism isn't just speaking of God, it's embodying Him. There's a quiet authority in that. You don't need to announce what you've become. Heaven's fragrance travels faster than sound. The anointing upon your life no longer screams, it settles, seeps, saturates. You've gone from spark to steady flame, and as you stand here, carrying wisdom like a crown, you sense that another door is forming, not behind you this time, but within you. You are no longer looking for the move of God. You are the move of God. Every breath you take is a continuation of His story. This is the sacred rhythm of maturity, to live so attuned to heaven that your ordinary becomes holy, and your silence speaks louder than sermons. Stay in that flow. Let wisdom guide your fire and peace guard your heart. You are home in His purpose now, and in this holy quiet. Heaven watches you with joy. You've become what you once prayed, to find a vessel of light, steady and alive, carrying eternity in every gentle breath. The air around you feels heavier now, not with burden, but with depth. You've crossed through the outer gates of calling and now stand within the inner courts of purpose. Here, everything slows down to sacred rhythm. The noise of ambition fades, replaced by clarity, by knowing, by quiet conviction. You no longer move to prove, you move to preserve. This is where revelation turns into stewardship. The things God once whispered now become realities you must carry with care. You've learned that blessings can break you if you hold them without humility. So you hold gently, open-handed, knowing that what flows from heaven is meant to pass through you, not to stop in you. You've become like a river meeting the sea, both defined and surrendered. There's no more struggle to control direction, no need to justify your pace. You've discovered that peace is not a pause in your story, it's the proof you're in alignment with the author. Every chosen one eventually reaches this chamber, this sacred maturity. It's the place where noise becomes melody and movement becomes meaning. It's the realm where you no longer pray for visibility, because presence itself has become enough. As written in the book of Micah, chapter 6, verse 8, He has shown you, O mortal, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. Humility, this is the fragrance of those heaven trusts deeply. You've walked through fire without boasting, through silence without bitterness, through blessing without arrogance. The fruit of that humility is spiritual authority, the kind that can calm storms without raising a voice. Authority built on humility is unshakable. It's not loud or defensive, it simply is. When you walk in it, even creation seems to recognize the sound of your footsteps. Nature responds to obedience, the world bends to alignment. There was a quiet man named Levi, a watchmaker by trade. For years, he crafted timepieces with near perfection, each one ticking in flawless harmony. When asked how he achieved such accuracy, he said, "The secret is to listen before I build." His words were simple, but they held eternal wisdom. Listening before acting, that is the rhythm of heaven. You've learned the same. You no longer rush to fix, you listen to understand. You no longer react to problems, you discern the purpose hidden inside them. Patience has become your protection. Every pause now feels purposeful. And so you begin to see the beauty of walking humbly with God, not as a servant desperate to please, but as a friend trusted with mysteries. You realize that the closer you walk, the quieter you become. You no longer need to announce revelation. It radiates through presence. Your prayers have changed. too. They've grown fewer but deeper. You no longer bring lists, you bring stillness. You've discovered that communion isn't about many words, but about mutual knowing. You talk less, listen more. And in that exchange, heaven keeps revealing its secrets. In this quiet partnership, your spiritual sight sharpens. You start noticing divine fingerprints in mundane things, a feather drifting across your path, a breeze that carries warmth, a stranger's kindness arriving at the exact moment you need it. These are heaven's small nods, reminders that you're seen and guided. And still, the journey continues. God doesn't stop where you've grown comfortable. His love keeps expanding your capacity, inviting you to live with greater compassion, broader mercy, and gentler strength. Each new level of grace requires a new level of surrender. You might not realize it yet, but your life has become a living prayer. The way you forgive, the way you stay kind under pressure, the way you choose peace instead of retaliation, all of it preaches louder than any sermon. You are embodying truth without needing to explain it. That's the hidden majesty of humility. It glows quietly, like oil in a lamp. It doesn't clamor for attention. It simply keeps the fire alive. You've become that lamp now, steady flame burning in the night, reminding the world that gentleness is not weakness, and silence is not absence. In this stillness, heaven's voice becomes clearer. You understand now that destiny isn't something you chase, it's something that unfolds as you listen. You're no longer driven by urgency, but drawn by intimacy. And as you walk on, you begin to notice a new kind of light rising within you. It's softer but stronger, no longer dependent on circumstances. It's the light of peace that passes understanding, the glow of a heart fully aligned with its maker. You don't need to search anymore. The journey and the destination have merged. You are walking humbly, mercifully, justly, and in doing so, you have become the message you were once waiting to hear. The light within you no longer flickers, it flows, steady and alive. Heaven's quiet affirmation that you have become its living echo. There's a holy quiet before revelation turns into declaration. You've reached that place where the mountain flattens and the horizon feels infinite. The air is clean here, every sound sharper, every thought lighter. You've walked through doors, through waiting, through fire and stillness, and now you stand where endurance becomes overflow. You are no longer just someone God rescued, you are someone He now releases. This is the moment when your story stops being about survival and becomes about service. Every scar you carry shines now, not as evidence of pain, but as proof of preservation. Heaven writes its faithfulness across your life, like constellations across the night. There's a sacred responsibility in being healed. Wholeness was never meant to end with you, it's meant to pass through you. You've been restored to restore, loved to love, strengthened to lift. That's what divine transformation really is, not perfection. But participation. We read in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 1, verse 4, He comforts us in all our troubles, so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we receive from God. You've become that verse in motion. Every word you speak carries the scent of compassion that only those who've bled can understand. You don't have to try to be relatable. You are redemption in human form. And now, Heaven leans closer again, this time not to instruct, but to invite. There are people waiting to hear what you've lived. There are hearts sitting in silence, praying for a sign that endurance is worth it. You might not realize it yet, but you are their sign. Your voice doesn't need to echo across platforms. It just needs to reach one more person who still believes they're forgotten. That's how light spreads. It doesn't explode. It multiplies through small, steady flames. Perhaps this is the moment to honor that light, to hold it gently and then pass it forward. Not through force, not through obligation, but through gratitude. Because gratitude always births generosity. If your spirit feels the warmth of these words, let that feeling be your response. Maybe you'll tap the heart to like, not as routine, but as reflection, as a silent nod that says, yes, I recognize this piece in me too. Or perhaps you'll feel led to share this message, not as promotion, but as participation, as the simple act of lighting another candle in the darkness. Each share becomes a whisper across distance, carrying hope where despair thought it could hide. And if your soul finds home here, you may choose to subscribe, not for numbers, not for noise, but to stay connected to this rhythm of truth that keeps calling you higher. Think of it not as joining a page, but as joining a pilgrimage, souls walking together toward light. And if these words awaken something inside you, leave a simple comment below. Write what peace feels like to you. One line, one truth, one heartbeat. Let your words become stones of remembrance for others finding their way. No one is keeping score. These small gestures aren't demands, they're expressions, acts of quiet worship, born from gratitude. Each one says, I'm part of this unfolding light. I will help it travel further. You've seen how heaven works. It moves through small things, quiet things, willing hearts. So when you act, even in something as simple as engaging this moment, know that you're adding oil to a collective flame. Together, we become what the world needs, most gentle fire, burning, steady, guiding home. There's something beautiful about the voluntary, yes, the kind that rises from recognition rather than request. You've grown into that kind of yes. The yes that isn't loud, but lasting. The kind that heaven hears and creation feels. Your journey has shaped you into a lighthouse on the edge of eternity, steady, luminous, unassuming. You don't compete with darkness, you simply exist. And darkness retreats. Every time you choose to live with kindness, to love with patience, to walk with peace, the world becomes more like heaven. This is where purpose matures not in grand gestures, but in small consistencies, the daily acts of grace that go unseen, yet echo forever. That's what this message was always about, not to demand response, but to awaken reflection. If these words find you now, let them rest gently. Let them remind you that obedience was never wasted, that every yes you've whispered has gathered here, forming the glow you now carry. You are the continuation of this light, so let the moment breathe. Let gratitude move your hands, however it wishes. Press the heart to like, share the spark, subscribe if you feel called, or leave a quiet comment of truth. Each choice is beautiful. Each one is worship. You've reached the edge of a season and the dawn of another. The story isn't over. It's widening. Keep your lamp trimmed, your spirit soft, your heart open, because heaven isn't finished. It's only just beginning to echo through you. Night settles differently now. It no longer feels like an ending, but a canvas. Darkness doesn't frighten you anymore. It reveals the light you've been carrying all along. Every season before this has been training lessons in endurance, lessons in grace, lessons in how to hold the holy in ordinary hands. And now, as you walk through the dim glow of this quiet chapter, you realize something profound. Peace isn't found in what happens. Peace is found in who you've become. The old restlessness is gone. The constant search for proof has faded. You no longer chase signs because your spirit has learned to read subtlety the way the wind shifts when God whispers, the way stillness hums before something divine begins. You've become fluent in heaven's language. Everything that once felt scattered now feels gathered. The fragments of your past, the pain, the joy, the waiting, the loss all fit together like pieces of stained glass. When light passes through them, they form something breathtaking. You no longer hide your scars. You understand that they are the windows through which grace shines most clearly. There's an awareness rising within you now, an unshakable sense that your life is no longer yours alone. You've been entrusted with people, with moments, with influence, not for control, but for compassion. The mark of the mature is mercy, and mercy flows through you like quiet water. The prophet Nahum wrote in chapter 1, verse 7, "The Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble. He knows those who take refuge in him." That verse has become your truth. You've learned that refuge isn't a place you run to, it's a presence that walks with you. Wherever you go, safety follows. You've discovered that strength isn't resistance, but surrender. Not the absence of pain, but the ability to remain kind through it. And so, you live differently now. Your footsteps are slower, but steadier. You've stopped rushing through sacred things. You linger longer. Speak softer. Listen deeper. You understand that every conversation holds a chance to build or to break, to plant or to pull. And you choose to plant. That's what peace in motion looks like. Gentle persistence. There's a new kind of reverence in how you see the world. The sunset no longer feels routine. It feels like benediction. The morning light isn't just brightness, it's blessing. Even rain carries revelation. You notice patterns in creation and realize they mirror your own journey. Cycles of death and renewal, silence and song, stillness and stirring. You have learned to bless both the storm and the calm. You no longer ask why as often as what now. There's a sacred rhythm in accepting what is without losing faith in what will be. You've grown enough to hold contradiction, joy and sorrow, faith and doubt, beginning and ending, all within one steady heart. There was once a man named Ezra, who tended an orchard where half the trees bore fruit and half didn't. For years, he tried to fix the barren ones, until one day he realized that his duty wasn't to force them, it was to keep the soil healthy. Within a year, even the barren trees began to bloom. That's the revelation you've come to. Nurture the ground, not the outcome. You've stopped forcing seasons to arrive. You've learned that what is meant for you will not require struggle to sustain. Grace that is real multiplies without manipulation. You've seen this truth unfold quietly. Relationships healed without confrontation. Doors opening without noise. Peace returning without announcement. Now, In this almost weightless place, your faith has become instinct. You don't have to remind yourself to trust, it's who you are. The tension that once lived between believing and doubting has dissolved into belonging. You are rooted in divine rhythm. The night is not darker, it's deeper. You see stars others overlook. Every flicker above reminds you of promises fulfilled, of prayers that once felt lost but found their way home. Heaven has not forgotten anything. It has simply been waiting for the right moment to reveal what was already finished. This is the calm before culmination, the sacred quiet where everything aligns. You don't need to strive anymore. You are already in motion with eternity. The work that remains isn't about reaching, it's about resting. And yet, this rest isn't passive, it's powerful. It's the kind of peace that makes you magnetic, the kind of confidence that doesn't demand attention but draws hearts near. The world aches for this quiet strength, and you carry it effortlessly now. So breathe. Let the night embrace you without fear. You are walking under the same sky that watched your tears, and now it watches your triumph. The constellations haven't changed, you have. And because of that, the darkness no longer defines you. It depends on you to reveal its stars. Morning comes softly now. The light doesn't rush, it stretches slow, deliberate, golden. You stand within it, aware of the shift that has taken place not only around you, but within you. The person who began this journey is gone, not lost, but transformed. Every storm, every silence, every waiting season has been gathered and reshaped into the wisdom you now carry. You are no longer learning how to survive, you are learning how to shine. What once felt fragmented now flows like a single current. You can sense it, the divine rhythm in everything. Life no longer feels random, it feels orchestrated. You see the fingerprint of God in the smallest patterns, in the still air before rain, in the tremble of a leaf, in the faces of those you meet. Every encounter hums with quiet purpose. This is the stillness after the fire, the song after the storm. It's not loud or triumphant, it's gentle, certain, and endless. You've entered the kind of peace that doesn't need proof, the kind of faith that doesn't need to shout. We read in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 28, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. You've lived that verse line by line. Every closed door became redirection. Every loss hid a lesson. Every delay carried deliverance. You used to ask, "Why me?" Now you whisper, "Thank you for choosing me." Because you've come to understand that calling isn't privilege, it's responsibility. And you've carried it well. There's a deep quiet in those who have walked with God long enough to see both His tenderness and His fire. You've tasted both, and you trust both. That is maturity, the peace that comes from knowing that whether He gives or takes, He remains good. You no longer crave certainty because you have intimacy. The unknown no longer threatens you because you've met the one who holds it. You've become the kind of person who walks through darkness without losing direction, because your light no longer depends on visibility, it depends on presence. The world will look at you and see stability, but heaven sees surrender. The foundation beneath your calm is built from years of yeses whispered in trembling faith. You've obeyed in the unseen, loved without applause, waited without resentment. That's what makes you unshakable. There was once a weaver who created tapestries so intricate that others could only see chaos while he worked. One day, a boy asked him why. The underside looked tangled and uneven. The weaver smiled and said, "Because beauty takes order from the other side." When the fabric was turned over, the pattern was flawless. That's how you see your life now, from the right side of the weave. You finally understand what heaven was doing all along. The pain, the pauses, the pruning, they were not punishments, they were preparation. The tapestry had to be stretched tight for the image to appear. And now, that image shines through you, faith woven into flesh. You've also realized that legacy isn't about achievement, it's about alignment. You may never see the full impact of your faith, but heaven will. Every word of kindness, every act of forgiveness, every moment of courage, these are seeds falling quietly into eternity's soil. You walk slower now, not from weariness, but from awareness. Each step feels sacred. Each breath feels borrowed and blessed. You move with reverence because you know you are walking in a story that began before you and will continue beyond you. This is the peace of completion, the calm that comes when striving ends and surrender begins. You no longer fear endings because you know they are only beginnings folded in disguise. Even death itself feels different, now not as finality, but as doorway. You are not afraid of tomorrow. You trust its shape because you trust the one shaping it. Faith has become more than belief. It's become memory. You've seen too much goodness to doubt it now. And as the morning light spills across your path, you know that what began as a call has become communion. You are no longer chasing God, you are walking with Him. The journey has not made you flawless, but it has made you faithful. So, here you stand, not on a stage, but on sacred ground. Your life, once trembling, now burns steady. You have become what heaven saw from the beginning, a vessel of endurance, a keeper of peace, a bearer of light. The story isn't over, it has only changed form. It continues in every act of mercy, every quiet moment of faith, every life touched by your obedience. You are both the message and the messenger now. And as the dawn widens, heaven whispers what you've always known deep down. Well done. Keep walking. The light is yours to carry. And now, the journey rests here not in silence, but in completion. You've walked through revelation and refinement. Through every gate of waiting and wonder, the words have carried you. The whispers have guided you. And now the message becomes yours to live. Take a breath and look back for just a moment. Everything you have passed through, every closed door, every tear, every pause was sacred choreography. You were being written into something eternal. This isn't an ending, it's a handing over. The story continues, through you now. If this message found its way into your heart, let gratitude be your first response. Maybe you'll press the heart to like, not out of habit, but as a way of saying, yes, I see what heaven has done here. Let that small motion become a quiet form of worship. You might feel led to share this with someone who needs to remember that they, too, are still chosen. Not for attention, but for awakening. Sometimes one word, one message, one spark can reignite a soul that thought its fire had gone out. And if you've found refuge here, if these words have become a soft light in your night, then subscribe. Stay connected not to a channel, but to a flow of reminders that call you back to peace, back to purpose, back to the truth of who you are. Lastly, take a moment to comment below. Write what this season has taught you, or simply type, "I am still walking." Let it be your final declaration that faith continues, that surrender endures, that light never leaves those who carry it. Thank you for walking this path, for listening deeply, for being part of this unfolding light. The story lives on through you.